Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for another Nu Skin Online Prospecting System Training webinar. My name is Brian McKenna. I'm one of the primary technical support supervisors over this particular system for you guys. It'll be my pleasure to teach you guys how to set up a couple of different items on your guys' profiles as well as accounts this morning in a number of different ways. So the first thing, as you guys can see, is I'm sitting on basically the ops homepage, which is going to show me my Start Building My Business panel. It's got a quick links panel right here, so I can go straight to viewing my contacts. Say I want to create a presentation. Say I want to check out or configure some of my websites. But more importantly, because we're going to be talking about site setup today, is we've got a site setup panel that's going to give you a pretty clear indication of whether you've got some certain items set up to not only make sure that your prospects are able to get in touch with you once they visit one of your websites, or that you've got information in place to be able to, automatically follow up, or to be able to send out a marketing email that contains a PDF or a presentation or a video to a prospect that has requested that information. So what we're first looking at is, even if you've never been into it first, your display information is usually going to be set up for you, just because as the account's created, we go ahead and pull what information we have on file, such as your email address, your phone number, as well as your first and last name. So that's usually going to be a green check mark for us. Now, one of the ways that you can go through this site setup is you can certainly click on any one of these options and then go to set up specifically that item. But I like to be a little bit more complete in my approach, and what we're going to be doing is making use of the actual My Profile menu up here in the upper right-hand corner. Now, the first option that we can see in that drop-down menu is going to be the profile, so we're going to take a peek there first. The first option that we have here on the left-hand side, guys, is going to be the personal information. This is kept completely private and confidential. This is information for us to use to get in contact with you should you need assistance with your ops system. Say you've got, an error message dealing with your email server settings, or, something quite, isn't quite working right with your auto post going out to Twitter or Facebook. You definitely want to call a technical support supervisor, not a supervisor, but an agent, and then, of course, get that taken care of. If we're not able to speak with you at that moment, leaving a message, we can usually come into your guys' accounts, find out what your current email address is and phone number that you want to be contacted at. So, again, this is going to be used specifically by Nu Skin to get in contact with you about this platform. The next thing that we see on the profile on the left-hand side is just a good area that's going to allow you to come in and see exactly how your websites are formatted. As you guys can see, I've got quite a number of duplications here, and that's because generally I have a website in each one of the markets that I'm able to send information out to worldwide. So as you can see, I've got a Nu Skin Opportunity website, and that's going to show me exactly what my website address is. So as you can see, it's briannuskinwebinar.nsopportunity.com. And then I've also got the products-themed website, which again is going to be briannuskinwebinar.nsnproducts.com. The next option on the left-hand side is going to be for your billing information if you guys want to take part in using some of our premium features, such as hooking up a Google Analytics account to be able to give yourself some additional tracking information, find out where some of your visitors are coming from on the web, also known as where your referrals are coming from. Are they visiting your website because of your Facebook post and those kind of items? So we'll talk more about that in just a bit, but this is where you would put your billing information on file. Just make sure to save that information. The one thing I will say about the billing information screen is if at any time you need to change the expiration date or anything else on this page, you'll need to type in the full credit card number, all 16 digits again, and then just click Save. The next item that's in the profile is probably going to be one of the bigger parts that has to do with the ops system itself, which is the email server settings. The email server settings are directly related to your ability to be able to send out marketing messages that either contain those videos, those PDFs, any of those personal presentations that you build yourselves, or even the autoresponders that you're able to trigger out through the system as well. So I'm going to show you real quickly how to set this up, and we'll talk a little bit more about how important those are. So in the first box in the username field, what we're really looking for is your full and complete email address. And this could be with, Yahoo, AOL, maybe you've got your own personalized domain through somebody like GoDaddy. So, my website or my email address might be brian@mckenna.com if I had mckenna.com as a domain. So in this case, I'm just going to use one of my, of course, junk accounts from Yahoo. So I'm going to put, of course, the full and complete Yahoo address in there, not just the username portion, but the @yahoo.com as well. In the password field, what we specifically need is the password that I use to log into this Yahoo account. Now, this password may or may not be the same as any of the passwords that I use for any other Nu Skin related content. So just be mindful of that, meaning that if I were to go to yahoo.com, like over here, and I click the sign in, what's the password that I'm going to put in this box to be able to check that email? That's the same password that needs to be right here. Same thing for any of the other email providers. So just the password that you would use to get inside of it. I'm actually going to use my Gmail account today. And I'll show you guys good reason here in just a second too. So let me put in my password for my Gmail account. The next option that you have in the email server settings is we want to know what provider, because we need to know what server to contact when we're trying to send these messages out for you through the Nu Skin ops system. So what we're looking at first is a long list of all these pre-configured email providers. Now I'm using Gmail to set this up, so I'm just going to choose Gmail from the list and then click on Save Email Server Settings. Excuse me. And then the first thing that you're going to want to do is run a test against those settings to make sure that you've got them configured correctly. Now, as you can see, I just got a success. The system was able to route a message out from the Nu Skin ops system over to my Gmail account for me and let me know that, hey, this is set up correctly. Now, what I'm going to do on purpose is I'm going to delete one of the characters off my password. I'm going to run a test again just to show you what an error message looks like. So this error message that we're looking at is telling us that we got an expected response code. It was supposed to be this, but we got this. And it's essentially telling us that the username and the password have not been accepted. And it's basically telling me that I can go and learn more at, of course, support.google.com, and it's going to be this document ID right there, which is 14257. So I'll actually type that in real quick. So we'll put Google 14257. And basically, this is the support page that error message is telling me I need to go visit to correct whatever issue I'm having with the system. All right, so let me go ahead and put that information back in there real quick. We're going to resave that message or resave those settings. I'm going to save out another test email just to make, oh, see, it made a liar out of me. Let me type it out completely again. There we go. Now we'll run the test. See, you guys might encounter this, and if you get that big old red message that tells you got an error, that's probably going to be your first indication that you might want to speak with a technical support representative so that we can kind of help you figure out what items. And the reason I say that is you might get a message in the error that's telling you specifically to go to a web page on your provider's core services to be able to correct an issue. Like Gmail's telling me that, hey, your password didn't match. But if it did, I could use this option that says, hey, if you're still having problems, visit this particular page. It's going to give me the option to sign in, and then I can tell basically my Gmail account that the Nu Skin ops system is allowed to send information out on my behalf when I want to send out an autoresponder, or I want to send out those marketing emails containing those different digital media content items. The next item on the My Profile is going to be the actual social networks and a couple of different ways that you're able to interact with some of the bigger names in the social networking, of course, arena, as well as what kind of tools are available to you to have people find you on your social networks, or find you on those social networks, I should say, and then how to also authorize auto post applications that'll help push information out to your Twitter or your Facebook page in an effort to help drive traffic over to your NS Opportunity webpage or your NS products website. So let me go ahead and show you what an authorization for Facebook is going to look like real quickly. Since I'm already technically logged into Facebook on my browser, it's going to take me straight over to the dialog screen that's asking me if I would like the Nu Skin course application to receive the following information. It's public profile, friends list, and photos. You can go ahead and tell that OK. The next option, it's going to say that the Nu Skin application would like to post to Facebook for you. Now, the one thing I do want to point out for you guys is when you're authorizing your Facebook pages with the applications, you're able to set your own custom privacy settings for the application itself. So basically, my Facebook is set to friends only, so it's defaulting here to friends. Now, I may want to change that so that way I have a broader audience of anybody who happens to come along some of those posts that I may be putting about Nu Skin on my Facebook through this application. So I would either suggest, if you like to keep a little bit of privacy, friends of friends is a good choice, and then always public is a good one in case you, a good instance to kind of say, if you put it on public, anybody that happens across your Facebook page is going to be able to see the great information that's being posted about, different opportunities, different product lines within Nu Skin that's on your Facebook. And then basically the reason I say to leave that public and why I mentioned that anybody might happen across your Facebook is if you hand a business card to somebody that's got your name, your business affiliation, your information, it may even have your Facebook, page on there. If they go check that out and they're not on your friends list, they're not going to be able to see that information, and they're not going to be able to continue that journey in being able to digest some of the information that we want to share with them in either the product spectrum or certainly the opportunity spectrum, where we would like everybody who uses the products to eventually end up anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and tell the system that I can go ahead and go public. It's going to pull me back into the Nu Skin ops system. All right, and that's going to take us care essentially of the authorizations for the social networks. The other option over here is going to be authorizing your Twitter account. Pretty much the same options. You're just going to put in your login information, click on the authorize application, and then you're going to be good to go. Now, we'll talk more about specifically where these particular applications are going to be pulling their content in future webinars for you guys, but some of you may be itching to kind of find out, so I'll kind of lead you in that way, and you can go do some self-discovery. You can come up here to the Social Tools tab, select Auto Post, and it's going to take you to the page where you're going to tell that application we just authorized how to behave. So how often is it going to post for me? I can do it as often as every 6 hours. I can choose, is it going to randomly select from all my categories, or is it going to be a custom campaign? And then what's my ratio for generic information versus company-specific or Nu Skin information? And what the ratios are corresponding to are these different auto post content categories down below. So we've got famous failures, generic health facts, generic opportunities, motivational quotes, the Crazy Ones campaign, weight loss information, and then of course we've got Nu Skin product and opportunity information that's going to be company specific or company branded as well. So if you guys are itching to kind of, come in here, set those authorizations up, come in here, feel free to play around with these. Do be mindful that we do have currently 2 Spanish categories. So right now, if I left that check, I would start having Spanish categories posted to my Facebook. So unfortunately, I cannot speak Spanish myself. I can kind of understand it, so that's not going to help me a whole bunch. It may help attract people, though, that do speak Spanish natively themselves. Now we're going to take a field trip right back over to the My Profile tab. We're going to go back to those social networks because I've got 2 more areas I want to discuss for you real quick before we move into other areas of that My Profile and the site setup that we're doing. The next area that we're going to be looking at is major social networks. And sometimes new users to, of course, the ops system do get confused and think this particular area corresponds to the applications that you're setting up for both your Twitter and your Facebook applications. So what we're realistically looking at is being able to program social media buttons and icons directly into each one of the emails or autoresponders that I'm sending out to each of the visitors or contacts or prospects I may have. So I'll show you real quickly what that looks like. I've got a test account, so I'm going to go ahead and put my Facebook username in there real quick. I'm going to save that information, and I'm going to show you how that plays out. But another thing I want to show you real quickly is clicking inside of each one of these boxes is going to tell you specifically the information that we want to know or how to find out what your username is for LinkedIn. For instance, it's telling you to log into your LinkedIn account, go and look underneath your customize your public profile URL inside your site settings, and then you'll need everything that's after the linkedin.com/in/, and then we'll add all the other information for you. A little bit different for Twitter. You can just log into your Twitter account, go straight into your account settings, and it'll have a little box that specifically states what your username is. For Facebook, it says that you can log into your Facebook account, and then basically you can use everything that's after that. So if I go to, say, facebook.com/Brian.soundconcepts, this is exactly that username portion that we're looking for Facebook. So I only need this particular part of it. So I'm going to copy it out, come back over here. It's already in there, so we're going to click Save. And then I'm going to do this one too. So, well, let's take caps lock off. Let me save that information. And then that's going to have, of course, a Twitter icon and a Facebook icon for me. And then let me detract, of course, from this area real quick. I know some of you guys are pretty aware of this, but for some of the new faces in the crowd, we want to show you guys how that specifically relates to each one of the messages that you're going to be sending out. So if I send out a message, this is exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to have my contact information, the new skin logo in it. It's going to have all the content, any of the digital media links I may have inside the body of the email. But more importantly, what we're looking at is these particular buttons that I just programmed on this email. So the recipient of that email, I've now just provided them a way to come find me, via, Twitter, or I provided them a way to come find me via Facebook and stuff like that. So it's a good way for you to introduce people into your social circles that may not have already been there. And the reason that's a good idea is because the way that the social networks work when you share information or you offer actionable items. When you post something on your Facebook page, you're basically giving all your friends, or even public if you have your profile set that way, if you have your profile set that way, it's going to basically offer everybody the opportunity to comment on your post themselves. They can like it. They can share it themselves to either their Facebook page, to a number of other people's Facebook pages, you name it. Now, when they take those actions, it's usually going to be that they're on default settings when it comes to those sharing and likes type situations, and their friends list is going to see that they liked your post, or they're going to see that they commented on your post. And that's going to give you your contact, or that new person that's on your Facebook, you're going to get their whole friends list as an audience as well if you can get that person to interact with your post. So providing that person that may not be on your social network a way to come join you there and become a friend or follow you on Twitter, you're realistically bringing their entire audience with them as well. So very, very powerful tools for you guys to set up when it comes to being able to share the information across those social networks. Now, the last area that I'll show you real quickly on the social networks is just additional networks. These buttons right here will basically play the same role as the major social networks. It's just that these ones do not get programmed into the email, only the top 3 ones as far as Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We may be putting things like Pinterest in there shortly and what have you. So, that's not set in stone. These could change, but currently what these ones do is they show up on your guys' contact page. So if I go out to one of my websites real quickly, well, let's go here. I'm on my products website. If I click that contact information up here in the upper right-hand corner, there's those particular buttons. Now, if I put one in here for Facebook real quick, we'll go back to social networks, or let's say YouTube even. I'm going to save that information. And again, that additional network of that Facebook is not, or not Facebook, but YouTube's not going to show up in the email. But where it is going to show up is I'm going to refresh my contact page, and there's that YouTube link. So any of the additional networks that we were just taking a peek at is going to take you specifically over to, of course, those networks, but they're going to be on your guys' Follow Me section of your contact page. So that's going to take care of your guys' profile. Now, moving on this morning, the next thing that we're going to take a peek at is your site settings. This is going to be an area for you guys to set up a lot of different ways for people to see the information they're supposed to get in contact with you on, and set up a number of different, of course, website features to either automatically follow up with somebody, to notify yourself that something has happened on the website, or even to customize a couple of different things. So without further delay, the first thing that we're looking at is going to be website display information. Website display information is this information that we were looking at in the upper right-hand corner right here. So whatever I have, let me close this. Whatever I have here is going to show up here. So as you can see, I've just got the Brian M. That's certainly how it's showing up. It's got that phone number. It's got that email address. So that's where this information is going to show up. So you can put your business name, your team names, your own personal name if you want to. If you guys are a team, husband and wife, friends that are doing it together, you can put both of your names in there as well. The phone number, the one thing I will say about that is put the phone number that you're going to be expecting to be contacted on. So if there's a phone number that you don't want to be contacted on, by chance by somebody, perhaps, accidentally at like 10 o'clock at night, put a different phone number in here. Same thing with email address. Put the email address that you're going to be expecting to check quite often, and then, of course, respond to the people who are requesting for more information, or, or sending you emails asking about certain products or asking for further information. You're also going to be provided a small box to share basically your own biography. This is a great area for you guys to share information about your experience with the product lines, with Nu Skin as a company, as well as be able to just give them any applicable information that would help them understand why you want to introduce them to the products, why you want to introduce them to the opportunity. You're also going to be given the opportunity to upload a profile photo. So by default, we just got the Nu Skin logo there. So I'm going to go ahead and pick some pictures. We're just going to choose one of my sample pictures real quick. So we're going to do Mr. Koala today. I'm going to go ahead and select the upload, and then we're going to go ahead and use basically this crop tool to drag and drop and grab the part of the image that we want. Now obviously, just because this image isn't necessarily perfectly square, I'm not going to be able to get the whole one, so we'll have to make do. I like his paw, so we'll have to keep the paw in there. So we'll go ahead and crop and save that. That's going to go ahead and make it available on my website. We'll refresh that, and we'll see it in just a moment. And there's that beautiful koala. So again, make sure you put in the proper information that you want to be contacted at. Feel free to go ahead and put your profile pictures in there. A lot of people do end up putting like product shots or whatever it basically is going to work for you guys. The next item on the left-hand side that we're going to talk about specifically deals with your website's capability of being able to automatically respond to or follow up with visitors to your websites, or people that have viewed information you've sent them, or more specifically have not viewed that information. So what we're looking at specifically here is going to be the triggers. As you guys can see, I've got a Nu Skin products. If somebody came across my products website, what campaign am I going to put them on automatically? So since they're on a products website, it might make sense to put them onto a product campaign. Same thing with the opportunity website. Perhaps I want to put them onto an opportunity campaign. It just makes sense. You can do the same thing over here. I've got the Nu Skin opportunity website for Venezuela as well as products for Venezuela, so I can do the same thing. I can put the opportunity campaign there. I can put the product campaign there. And these are going to be specifically dealing with your lead capture pages, these ones that are talking about your websites. So this is my Nu Skin products, Nu Skin opportunity. These are my Canadian websites, and these are my Venezuelan websites. So I can assign a campaign to automatically go out to anybody that self-registers on those websites of mine. The next two triggers that we're going to be looking at is dealing specifically with conditions being met, whether somebody has viewed the information or they have not viewed the information that I've sent them. So right off the bat, as we can see, if I send out somebody a presentation or an email that's got a video in it and they don't watch that, I can then tell the system 4 days after they don't watch that video, or within 4 days if they don't watch it, that I want to start sending them out a different styled campaign. And you can set this to trigger. Maybe you want to give somebody up to 2 weeks to be able to look at the information before you start sending them more. Perhaps you want to give them just a week. perhaps just 3 to 4 days. It's really up to your guys' comfort levels on how soon that you feel is kind of your sweet spot for following up with your prospects. And then obviously we've got one if the contact does watch or view the information that you've sent them. So in those regards, it's good to find out that, hey, you did watch the information. This might be a good opportunity to thank them for looking at that. You know, let them know, hey, if you've got any questions or concerns about the products, I'm certainly here to, of course, help you. If you need some more information about the opportunity, I would love to share that information with you. So after you basically make your choice for any one of the email campaigns that are attached to one of these triggers, so again, these first ones are dealing with somebody registering on the lead capture page, and then we've got the two conditionals of a contact does not watch a presentation and a contact does watch a presentation. I'm going to go ahead and save those triggers in place for myself. The next thing that we're going to be looking at on the left-hand side is going to be our notifications. Now, the new Skin Ops site does have the ability to notify you when somebody views one of your custom presentations, signs up on your websites through those lead capture pages, requests more information from you, or even just returns to the website. Basically, what we allow you guys to do is to send yourself an email to let you know that of course has happened. A lot of us carry around smartphones these days. We're able to access our email on the go, so it just makes sense to, of course, be notified that, hey, somebody just watched that video I sent them a couple hours ago. Maybe I want to follow up with them now and see what their thoughts are, you know, why it's still fresh in their mind. Or somebody said, hey, you know, I'm just super busy right now. Let me look at your website a couple of times. I'll look at some of the information, and then I'll come to you when I want to order. That might be a good opportunity for you guys to be notified anytime that a contact returns to the website. That might be your cue to, of course, oh, they're looking at more stuff. Awesome. I need to keep an eye on them, maybe follow up with them and see, hey, you got any questions? I saw you looked at this, or what have you. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to choose the email address that you want to receive the notifications at. Now, you will notice that as you put in the first email address, we do provide you another field to have the notifications delivered somewhere else. You can actually have them delivered up to 5 different email addresses to receive your notifications, so that way you're, you know, ensuring that you're never going to miss them. Another tip and trick I'm going to show you guys real quickly is just basically, you know, me as a consumer reaching out to you guys as being able to receive these as text messages in case you're not able to always check your email because of, you know, 3G, 4G connections or not being around a router to connect to a Wi-Fi or something. So as you can see here in this input box that I've typed up, it says you can also input your mobile phone number's email address to receive an SMS email message. And essentially, what we're going to be doing is putting in our 10-digit phone number. Or actually, I just got a new phone number, so let's use that one. So I'm going to use AT&T as an example. And that's basically my cell phone's email address right there. 10-digit number, and if you guys, any of you guys out in the crowd are AT&T customers, your SMS gateway is txt.att.net. Some of you guys may be T-Mobile customers, so for just to show you, it's going to be tmomail.net. You're also going to get, of course, vtex.com, which is going to be Verizon. And then I think another one for the national carriers is going to be at messaging.sprintpcs.com. And of course, this is recorded, so if you guys want to get back to this later and be like, hey, I want to set up that way, like Brian showed us, to be able to receive those emails, but receive them as a text message on my phone. So you put that information in there, and then you're just going to essentially select which actions do you want to receive notifications about. In my eyes, all 4 of these are rock solid. I want to know about all 4 of these actions happening. I want to know when somebody's viewed that information. I want to know when I've got a new person that just visited the website so I can personally follow up with them in case I'm not using my autoresponder triggers. Or again, in that same scenario, if a contact returns to the website, I may know, hey, here's my time to jump on that opportunity. They're looking at the information again. Maybe I should approach them. And then, of course, you know, it's very important. Anybody specifically requesting more information, we want to jump on that opportunity to provide that information to them. The next thing that we're going to be looking at on the left-hand side for your site settings is going to be the lead capture. The lead capture system is your website or your front-end website's capability to capture somebody's contact information before they view the rest of the websites. So just by default, if I were to turn this on, it's going to ask for a first name, a last name, and an email address. Now, additionally, I can have the system require that a phone number be submitted as well as a mailing address should I want to send out any samples or something of that nature. Now, me, I'm very comfortable on the phone. I like talking, probably too much sometimes, but I like to, of course, get people's phone numbers so that way I can follow up. I can put the power of a follow-up in my own hands. I don't have to rely on email correspondence. Okay, I've got their email address. That's great that they looked at my website, they visited, they put all their information in my lead capture page, but now my way to follow up with them is only going to be by email. Do I want to wait for that? Do I want to wait for them to eventually read that? Or do I want to be a little bit more proactive, grab that phone number and then maybe call them the next day, or wait till the weekend and give them a call, when they're not busy during the work week and stuff. So, make sure that you're going to be comfortable, either turning this on or off, at your will. Excuse me. You're turning it off and on at will, and then when it comes to, of course, requesting phone numbers or mailing addresses, you can certainly, of course, just leave it as first name, last name, and email addresses. Now, the one thing I will say that's kind of a little bit of just sage advice when it comes to how to let somebody know that you have a lead capture system is don't let them know, hey, submit your name and phone number and all that information to me when you come visit my website. Let them know it's a guest book. Don't use what we would use in the industry, because we know it's a lead capture page. We know it's a squeeze page. We know it's a landing page. We know what its purpose is doing because we're the ones that are using it. But for people who are visiting that website, we don't want to put that, lead and capture in their mind, because if I heard that, in any type of presentation, I'd be like, what do you mean lead and capture? So if you kind of, position that process as a guest book, hey, go to my website, leave your name and information and let me know that you stopped by. Look at the information. If you got any questions or concerns, my contact information for you, again, is going to be in the upper right-hand corner. Very easy, and of course, they don't even think twice about filling out that information then. The next thing on the left-hand side is going to be those email server settings, again, that we've kind of spent a little bit of time talking about this morning. Again, they're super, super important. Just to stress, guys, if these are not configured correctly, your Nu Skin Ops system is not going to be able to send out any of those marketing emails containing any of that great digital content that we provide for you guys, and the system's certainly not going to be able to send out those autoresponders for you based on somebody meeting those triggers. And again, that's, somebody self-registering on one of my websites, or, viewing or not viewing some information that I've sent them. The next page that we've got on the left-hand side is going to be the Join Now button. You can externally link to a different website if you want to. So if you've got like a YouTube channel or something, let me pause that video. And this is what I can do. I can essentially come in here, and instead of saying Join Now, I could be like, check out my YouTube channel or something like that. And this might be too long of a sentence. We'll find out. And then I can put in whatever link I wanted to. So we'll just put something in there. We're going to save that information. And then we're going to refresh this page. And there it is. Check out my YouTube channel. So essentially, this is a great way for you guys to allow yourselves to externally link to additional resources. Maybe you've got your own testimonials of the products. Maybe you've got your own testimonials of the opportunities. Maybe you know of a great, of course, website that talks about the science behind, of course, Nu Skin's products. It's a great way to, of course, get that information. So if I was actually going to put a real link in there, it would look like something like this. So I won't leave it with just gibberish, though. Oh, we're not going to use that. I need a semicolon. There we go. And then basically that's going to make it sure that every time that somebody clicks on this, it's going to take them over to the new YouTube site. So I'll show you guys how that works. Refresh the page. That's there, and bam, we just clicked on that link, and now I'm on YouTube. So again, a great way for you guys to be able to link to external resources without necessarily having to make it all complicated and sending out, different links and all your different emails and stuff like that. Keep your emails clean. Don't have a bunch of links in them. Help yourself make sure that you're not sending, of course, emails that are going to be delivered straight to somebody's junk filter. So, make use of this particular feature if that's something that you'd like to do. Now, for some of you guys, I know that I talk to, of course, every other week. A lot of you guys are connecting to the webinars from all over the world. If you guys have a different default language than English, you can choose between, Chinese traditional, Korean, Spanish. Those are just the ones that we have available right now. And then as far as the markets, you can choose. Am I going to specifically, market to Argentina, Canada, Colombia, Mexico, the United States or United States Spanish speakers, or even specifically Venezuela. So if you don't know, of course, what you're going to be doing or anything, or if you just want to kind of keep it open, you want to be able to market to anybody in any language, just leave it as no default. The next option for the default area of focus is going to be, what's your default area of focus? If you send out a marketing email that's got a website link in it and they click on that link, where are they supposed to go? Are they supposed to go view that information on your Nu Skin Opportunity website? Are they supposed to be viewing that information on your Nu Skin Products website? Or does it need to be the Nu Skin Products Colombian website or the Venezuelan Opportunity website? If you don't know which way you kind of want to go as far as your area of focus, just leave this as no default. It's not going to hurt you, and it's not going to put yourself into a situation where you've accidentally sent something, Venezuelan, but you're specifically marketing still to, of course, English-speaking United States residents. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that as no default. That's going to take care of course, the My Site settings, guys. So just to recap real quick what we've done so far this morning. We've talked about my profile, how to get your username and password, or more specifically, how to find out what your website address is. Billing information, email server settings, we've talked about that a couple of times. We spent a considerable amount of time talking about your social networks. And then we went in and did a little bit of the site settings. We learned how to set information up that people can see on my website so they can call me, they can email me, they can find out more information about my experiences. I can set up different, of course, ways to automatically follow up with the visitors in my websites. I can notify myself of anything going on. I can turn on or off a lead capture page if I want to grab somebody's information before they look at anything else. Email server settings, again, is in a couple of different spots. Again, make use of the homepage customization if you guys really want to go out and, of course, link to additional information that's going to be beneficial to your prospecting process. And again, languages and markets and area focus that we just looked at. So we're almost getting close to the, of course, completion of this morning's webinar. We just got a couple of more items to talk about when, of course, it comes to site setups. Products and services in that, again, we talked real briefly earlier about being able to input your billing information, and that's if you want to make use of course, Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a fantastic addition to the tracking capabilities that our system is able to provide through the use of tracking cookies. Google Analytics is going to take that and expand upon it and be able to tell you where the people are coming from on the internet. Are they coming to your website via Facebook post? Are they coming to your website because you posted something on LinkedIn or because you put some information in one of your local news stations forums or something like that? I know our local news station around here has a classified section and all that kind of stuff, so I just relate to that part of it. So again, if you wanted to purchase that, it's not $9.99 a month or anything like that. It's just a one-time fee of $9.99 for us to be able to go in and add the special code as well as your Google Analytics ID into both of your websites. Usually it'll take about 24 to 48 hours for all the propagations to, of course, take place, and then you'll start being able to see information inside your Google Analytics account as it relates to people visiting your Nu Skin websites. The last thing that we're going to talk about before we close out this webinar this morning for you guys is team access. Now, for some of you guys who are new faces in the crowd, this isn't going to necessarily mean a whole lot to you guys just because, you're learning the system. You just learned how to set it up today. But for some of you who are in the system, you know how to use it, but you want to be able to help train your downline. But one of the ways that you can assist them is actually share some of that custom information that you've created. Any of your own custom autoresponders, any of your own custom email scripts, any of course, any of the presentations that you set up as well. So through Team Access, we provided you guys a way to share that information without having to go outside of the system. So essentially what you can do is you can create your own team name. So I'm going to put Team McKenna Yay as my team name. We're going to save that code. And then essentially if you guys on your websites were to go in and add that access code right here, basically just type that out just like I did, that's going to have you join my team. And then that way anything that I create in the way of excuse me, custom presentations right here, if you guys join my team, you'll see all the ones that I've created. You'll be able to send them out to your prospects. Same thing with any of the custom autoresponders that you build. So if you add your own campaigns, you make your own, you can share those with your downlines easily through the system without having to go outside and be like, hey, I just copied and pasted this from my ops system. I'm sending it to you through email. You need to copy and paste it. Go to this spot inside your new Skin Ops system. Click on these items, make sure it's saved, and then you can start sending out. No, we don't want to go through that complication. What we want to do is make it quick and easy just to be like, hey, is there a way that I could access some of the great information that you use to help get me interested? You know, I feel it's a great approach or something like that. You know, that's dialogue that may be coming from somebody in your downline. And, of course, they'd be able to share those, you know, autoresponders, those email scripts, and, again, those presentations. So that's what Team Access is all about. And then once you do join somebody's team, when you're inside the digital media section on the presentations, you'll actually have a folder over here that'll say what the team name is. So if you guys had joined my team, it would say over here on the left-hand side in your guys' digital media on presentations that it's Team McKenna Yay. So hopefully your guys' training webinar was a little bit, of course, without problem this morning. I know last week we tried to get underway and kind of got, told to wait a little while just because the systems didn't want to play nice that day. But they're working fantastically now. We haven't had any issues basically since that day. If you guys have any questions or concerns about some of the information that we've gone over today, don't hesitate. Contact one of your Nu Skin technical support representatives. They'll certainly be happy to help you guys out. More specifically, again, if you guys go through your site setups, check those email server settings. If they're not configured correctly, you do a test, you get a red error message, stop what you're doing if you got some time, give somebody a call, and we'll be happy to, of course, get that set up correctly for you. So that way you're able to use, what the system's really intended for sharing that information. Of course, we can do that through, the social media forums now, but email is still a great way to make sure that that information is shared. So make sure that you do yourself a favor. Make sure that that's all set up completely. For some of you guys, like I said, that are fresh faces in the crowd, there we go. Make sure you go through the My Profile tab today. Set up all the different items in My Profile. Set up all the different items inside My Site settings. Again, if you run into any issues, just call us. We'll be happy to give you a hand. Other than that, what we're probably going to be going through, of course, for not this next Wednesday, but 2 weeks from today for our webinars, we're going to go more specifically in how to create some of that digital content that we've just talked about when it comes to, of course, sharing that information. I know some of you guys may have some questions on that. So 2 weeks' time, what I will be showing you guys is how to create your own presentations, how to build your own autoresponders, and then how to put your own email scripts into the system so that way you're not having to type the same email out a couple of hundred times as you send the information out to your prospects. So thanks so much, guys, for joining us for another, of course, webinar session for the Nu Skin Ops system or online prospecting system. If you need us, get in touch with us. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and end the webinar for you guys today. I'll go ahead and get it, of course, uploaded into Nu Skin, and then they'll put it on their official YouTube channel for you guys. So I would anticipate that it'll be available for you guys probably sometime late afternoon or probably perhaps early evening on that Nu Skin America's YouTube channel. So thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.